Welcome to the podcast. Nathan Newberry here, your host. I got Logan Forsyth here joining us on the podcast. You guys are going to hear his story and his expertise. He has a unique one, but he helps people build some media aspects of stuff. Some of the credentials that he has is he's helped in his business generate like 5 billion views, 24 million followers. He got some awards with some of the businesses, and there's some major, influencers that he's been able to support along the way here. I watched some of his stuff here too. He has, over like 100 employees. Like he's at top level of what we want to hear his insights with how to scale and grow. So you'll want to wait till the end too. And toward the end, we're going to talk about a lot of tactics. So make sure you watch through and listen in here. Before we jump in, I gave a gift to everybody that's listening in here. I want everybody to build a personal brand. It's really, really important, and to do it right, to get to 6 and 7 figures. I've created a whole workshop down below in the show notes to help you be able to do that, build a media team, look at ads, leverage AI. Go check that out. My gift to you. Logan, as we dive into it, I want to get your thoughts on this question I ask everybody, but what is high performance? What does that look like? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Nathan, thanks for having me on the show. Pleasure to be here. High performance means to me that you are always competing against yourself, right? And you're looking to get better and do better than what you did yesterday. And if you do better and get better every single day, and you look in the mirror and that's your competition, that's a recipe for success and high performance. It's having higher standards for yourself than anyone else around you. I think if there's someone else around you that has higher standards than you do for yourself, there's a problem there. You got to fix that, right? And just having a winner's mentality. You want to be competitive. You want to continuously improve, have a thirst for knowledge, and want to continue to remain uncomfortable, right? Get out of your comfort zone, continue to grow. And all those aspects put together, I think creates high performance, regardless of what it is or what area that applies to.
Amazing. So talk to us a little bit about what people know of you a little bit more. Like give some understanding around how you serve people right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a co-founder and CEO of Media Scaling, and we work with top market leading consumer brands. So that would be, e-commerce companies, software companies, media networks, streaming services, and then also personal brands. So primarily business owners who create content to grow their business, which I think is what applies to most people that's going to be listening in today. And also, artists and celebrities, entertainers, everything under the sun. And we help them scale rapidly on social media. We really specialize in short form content, mass distributing that content, and then also engineering virality as well, of coming up with content that's going to perform much better and still get you in front of the right people. And then a big thing that makes us unique is the sub account strategy, which is a process that we've really pioneered. And that's a big part of what's allowed us to generate over 5 billion views for our client partners in the last 2 years. So, what sub accounts are is once you get to a size to where you have a business that's rapidly growing, typically multi 7 figures, if not 8 figures and beyond, and then you are consistently creating content that is proven to perform, meaning that you're seeing growth consistently. The next step is to amplify that with sub accounts. And so we no longer live in a world to where you can and should just have one account per platform on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, X. Most people don't even use all 7 platforms, and you should if you're not. But once you get to a certain point, you can scale further. And instead of just having one account per platform, you can create many more. You could have 5 Instagram accounts or 10 Instagram accounts, and then do that on Facebook and do that on YouTube and do that on TikTok and Snapchat and X and so on and so forth. And that allows you to post way more content, right? And so we do it through full media divisions of editors, social media managers, team leader, copywriter, clips coordinator, data analyst. There's a lot of moving pieces that goes into doing this at scale while maintaining top quality, because quality has to come first. But when you put all that together, for each of our client partners, we're posting 1,200 plus times per month, many times much more than that, of top quality content. And when you do that level of volume combined with quality, a lot of posts go viral. It creates massive new reach in front of the right people, and can exponentially scale your business if you are also good at monetizing and turning that attention into cash for your company.
Amazing. That is a unique approach, man. That's why I wanted to have you on because it's a unique thing. And you do that for clients, which is really helpful because many times like to go set up all these different accounts and let alone manage their own personal ones is a lot. And and then there's sub accounts too that probably they would flag that if you had it a bunch because there's like if you're in the same IP, wouldn't they kind of have a challenge with that? How do you go about helping people really kind of building these sub accounts and making that work?
Yeah, it's fully compliant of what we do. We've read all the social guidelines. We have contacts who are reps within each of these, big social media companies. A lot of our sub accounts have been verified and been approved for different features on the platforms, manually reviewed by people within, the companies on like Instagram and TikTok and so on and so forth. So it's fully compliant when you do things right. Um, each platform is designed to let you create and manage multiple accounts, right? So on Instagram, you can have 5 plus, and usually we fall somewhere around that 5 accounts per device range. And when we're scaling above that, we just have multiple social media managers who are part of the process, multiple devices attached to it. And you have to manage the accounts like a real person would, right? And so if you're just like post and jump and you're not even using the accounts, you're not watching other people's content, you're not engaging, you're not responding to comments, this doesn't work well. But we make sure that our team is doing all of those aspects. So it creates a good, what we call health score in the eyes of the algorithm, and everything performs well and remains fully compliant.
Amazing, man. I'm curious your upbringing, man. Take us back to the very beginning of like your origin story. So I think people want to understand like how you like work and process and deal with things. Like, was there some challenges at the very beginning that you dealt with leading up to the success you have now? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
The origin story of media scaling or of
You,
like my life
you,
in general.
yeah.
So of media scaling, we started in late February of
Oh, you,
20.
Logan. I want to hear your story, man.
Oh, I
I think
see.
people
Got
want
it.
to hear you.
Yeah, grew up in Dallas, Texas, and specifically a smaller town called Midlothian, Texas. One high school is about 45 minutes south of Dallas, and did not grow up in a family or an environment of entrepreneurs or business owners whatsoever. I was never exposed to business. I never even heard of the concept of mindset and self development until I was 18 years old. And I got that exposure through social media, right? And I
Yeah,
started seeing people like Gary Vee and Grant Cardone and Ty Lopez and so on and so forth on social media talking about these concepts and talking about reading books and buying programs, investing in yourself and digital marketing strategies. And that's what exposed me to all of this. And I felt like it lit a fire in me. I always knew that I wanted to accomplish a lot and make a lot of money, do big things. But I didn't know what that was going to be. And when I was younger, I was not exposed to business. And so my mindset was I was just looking at what are the highest paying jobs, right? And I was like, maybe I'll be petroleum engineer or a plastic surgeon or just something high paying. And then business is what really spoke to me. And once I started getting into the world and investing in myself and reading books and just constantly improving, I was so excited, like I couldn't sleep at night. And I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So that's what set me down the path. And I invested in a lot of programs, went to a lot of events and masterminds over the years. And that's where I've developed a lot of my education around this. And then the experiences come from School of Hard Knocks of actually doing and actually taking
right.
action on all of it, right? So
Yeah,
plenty of failed business ventures leading up to this. I've had multiple failed agencies early on, created probably like 8, 9 drop shipping e-commerce stores, did online personal training for a little bit and just didn't fully resonate with me of what I wanted to do long term. And so I ended up just realizing like I don't know what I'm doing when I was at a younger age, and went inside of one of the communities that I joined for digital marketing, found some of the most successful people in there, and then started working for them. And very quickly, that's where I actually got to learn and have ad budgets and start creating funnels and generating leads and sales and results for businesses. And over the next 3, 4 months, ended up running basically the entire company of the person I was working with, and developed the skill set to have the confidence to go back out on my own. And that's where I finally started to have success with online digital based businesses. In 2020, I got connected with someone named Manny Koshpin, who is known for his car collection, world class, got one of one Bugattis and Paganis, McLarens, and he has made his money through commercial real estate. So that's what moved me from Dallas to California, where I built his coaching and consulting company, teaching others how to invest and build portfolios in commercial real estate as well. He had about 3 million collective followers and subscribers when I came on and started working with him. And over the course of the next 2 years, I believe we more than doubled it on the following size, but also I was employee number one on the business. By the time that I left, we were at a team of about 25 people, and had thousands of investors come through the communities and programs and masterminds that we built. And it gave me incredible experience because he let me run the business kind of like it was my own, and him being more in the face, and gave me a lot of control. And so I got to learn all aspects of being on the personal brand side, and building that type of business. And that's what led me to beginning media scaling. I co-founded it with my partner, Spencer Murphy. We grew up together, have known each other since we were 9, 10 years old, best friends for a long time, went down the digital marketing rabbit hole together. And Spencer had a similar journey to me, working with other large personal brands. And through his experience, ended up building what we now do, the sub account network for someone named Iman Ghazi. Iman has a large following, probably at this point, collectively 13 million plus across platforms. And Spencer built and launched the sub account network for Iman in July of 2022. In the first 4 months, they generated 450 million views. His YouTube channel in the first year grew from 340,000 subscribers to 3.5 million subscribers. And it's just like astronomical numbers. And obviously, the business grew substantially as a result of all of that as well. So Spencer was staying with me, telling me what they were doing, and I couldn't get out of my head. I was in a period where I was ready to start a new venture. And that's when we came together, started media scaling, and decided to offer these services to market leading top level brands, and have big guarantees behind it. We do our service largely performance based with guaranteed results, and it's been an incredible journey.
That's cool, man. Talk about the need for having a personal brand and then creating a lot of content, because I think that's where you're getting a lot of the resources to be able to even use that on sub accounts, right? Like if someone was like wanting to consider doing that, or even just getting serious about doing it, I always talk about it like going pro, in essence, of like being online just on those platforms that need to be, let alone multiplying that. What's the leverage? What's the need that you're seeing right now in this space?
Yeah, it is attention, right? I would remove the word social from social media and just call it media, right? It's new age media. And since the dawn of businesses and communities, uh, advertising has been a big method for growing your business and getting more people knowing what you do. And today in 2025, there's no better way of doing that than through building a brand on social media, and ideally building a personal brand. People love when the founder or owner of a business creates content and they know who is behind the business, what are they like, what are their values, what's the story. And also, there is a huge shift that happened in 2021. Gary Vee calls it the TikTokification of social media, where every platform really changed from a following feed to a For You page. And now we constantly get served much more suggested content from accounts that we've never even seen or followed, rather than just people who we follow. And so, because of that, every single time you post short form content, that's the vertical video across platforms, that usually is 3 minutes or less, and you look at the reach on the insights, majority of that reach, 50% plus, goes to non-followers, people who don't follow you. They may not have seen you before. And it's also targeted based on interest, using the same data that the platforms use for advertising. Because if you like business content, you're going to get served more content about business. If you like basketball, you're going to get served more content about basketball. And so there's never been a time to where it's easier to grow a personal brand because every time you post, you're guaranteed to get in front of hundreds, potentially thousands, and even millions of new people who are targeted based on their interest, understanding that they like what you're talking about, right? When you
Right.
put that into perspective, a lot of the biggest stadiums around the world fit 100,000 people, right? And if someone goes and speaks in a room with 100 people, it feels like a big room. You're basically guaranteed reach to 100 people every time you post across every platform. And there's now a bigger emphasis over content quality rather than audience size. Audience size matters way less than it used to. And so it's never been easier to grow a brand, regardless of where you're at, when you understand the principles and what's working the best on socials today.
Hmm. Talk about there's a quandary that I have with quality versus quantity, right? I feel like we could try to do both, uh, but there's levels of volume, you know, of like how much volume you could put out per platform, like you're saying, or with using sub accounts. Talk about how you found that to be really, really helpful for people.
Yeah, quality has to come first, right? If you can't polish a turd, so if your content's not good, doesn't matter how much of it you post, you're not going to start getting this massive reach, right? So you need to create good quality content first. And then the quantity aspect is basically throwing fuel on the fire and amplifying it. And when you can combine quantity with quality, that's where you really see exponential growth on socials. And that's what we do with the sub accounts. We have posted or we have tested extensively posting volume anywhere from 1 post per day up to 12 posts per day per account across platforms. And there's exceptions to this. It's not a hard rule. But overall, we see best results posting twice per day per account across platforms with short form video. And so that's the goal, right? And that's only if you're starting with just your main socials, that's 60 videos a month. It's pretty easy. There's no excuses because this can massively grow your business within a pretty short time frame. Like if you post 2 pieces of content per day across platforms on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, X, LinkedIn, and you do that for 3 to 6 months straight, and you also are focused in looking at the data, creating quality content, you'll be shocked of what that accomplishes for you and your business in
Hmm.
that time frame.
And you're
It's
talking
not
about
like something that needs to take
repurposing.
5 years.
Is this like cross posting the same content, or is this like repurposing different versions of it? What have you found per platform with that strategy?
Yeah. So with short form video, it works across platforms. And so you should post it across each platform. You should not just create a short form video and only post it on Instagram or only post it on TikTok or only post it on YouTube, which are usually the main 3 platforms people focus on when it comes to video. You should post it across every platform because we've seen it happen. We have videos go viral every single day in the company, viral being defined as getting 1 million plus views. And all the time, a video will go really viral on one platform and then maybe it performs average or a little bit better than average on the others. And so
Mhm.
if we weren't posting it across every platform, we would have missed out on so many views. We'd probably be at 500 million views instead of 5 billion.
Mm.
So you absolutely should post across platforms because posting is lower effort. Most of the effort goes into creating the content. And once you have that unique video, post it everywhere you can, right? And then with the sub accounts, all the videos that we create are unique. And so it does not work if you just repost the same content on one Instagram account and then you do it on another Instagram and then another Instagram. That does not work. When you're posting multiple pieces of content on the same platform, all the content needs to be unique. But where you can quote unquote repost is when you take that same video and you post it across platforms, right? Because it's unique on each platform. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, I've seen it where it's like you have the hook, you have like the main point and like sub points or using a story in between there. And people could take that main heart of that, but then have a different hook. And then you're using that cross platforms. Is that kind of how we look at like using the same content, but then repurposing it on these other sub accounts too? Or is it unique?
We
stuff
do
every
that.
time.
We do that to a degree. It's a smaller amount. So all the content is fully unique. And I'd say, 80, 90% is completely unique videos. But social media is largely unpredictable until it's predictable. Meaning when you have a winning post, we look at that as an asset. Almost always, if we take that same underlying post and we add new editing on top, so it's still unique, right? It's not just a completely reposted clip. And we post it again on a different account or even on the same account, but a month, 2 months later, almost always it performs again. And many times it outperforms the first one. And it's kind of like guaranteed growth. So when we're doing the sub account strategy with our clients, we're posting so much content. We're constantly finding more and more winning posts and assets. And then we continue to remix those. And we can also get creative and repurpose them with different hooks, like what you're saying, and take different creative approaches to them to maximize that asset that you have, right? Also, top performing organic content almost always turns into top performing ads as long as what you're talking about in the organic content relates to what you're selling or what you're promoting the ad. And so when we post this much content, we're finding the best creative for free in terms of the reach because it's all organic. And then we take that winning creative, funnel it to our clients' media buying teams to run and repurpose as ads. And those usually crush as well. And when you're doing this, you also create huge custom audiences. That's low hanging fruit because that's now warm impressions versus cold, who again are targeted on interest. And so you can retarget those audiences with ads. Usually you see a high ROI on those campaigns, and it becomes a full flywheel of building the organic content strategy, but also a paid ad strategy. A lot of people are running into issues. We talk to businesses all the time, every day, who have been advertising for years. And they're like, over the last 2, 3 years, ad costs have just gotten so high. What was used to work for us doesn't work today. We're not nearly as profitable as we were on ads. And when you're building out and running the sub account strategy, we do it largely performance based on a CPM model. And we're usually ranging somewhere between 20 cent to $3 CPMs, which stands for cost per 1,000 views. And on ad platforms, most people are spending, anywhere from 15 upwards to $100 CPMs in their campaigns, depending on multiple variables. It's not apples to apples, but it's still generally a 20th of the cost of doing this strategy versus just running cold front end ads because the organic reach is free and it's guaranteed on every post. So it's a huge arbitrage opportunity. And I really look at doing this as comparing to running Google ads in 2002 or Facebook ads in 2013 when they were new platforms and extremely effective and didn't have a lot of competition. And where you could get Facebook ads back in 2013, 2012, you could get $1 CPMs compared to today, which are $20 CPMs. The cost is really 20x over time because so much more competition has come into it. This is early days, and you get first mover advantage of really incorporating and leaning into organic content today.
What do you think about running ads for like follower ads? Or is that what you're really focused on? It's like if I can dominate on content, then that's getting eyeballs and subscribers or follows. Is that how we look at the top of the funnel, or are people running ads and then this content is more focused on like the middle of the funnel type of thing, including them, running ads to it? What have you seen that worked most?
Yeah, my favorite approach, because we're able to create such large view counts. All of our clients were generally tapping into somewhere between 5 million to 100 million plus views per month. Once the sub account network really gets built out and starts to really perform. And so I look at the sub account and organic content as top of funnel, right? It creates a lot of top of funnel, new awareness, new reach. And then you funnel them in further by driving them to free stuff, really promote free lead magnets that are highly valuable. Webinars are still largely king right now. We work with brands that are doing, 50, 100 million plus a year, and webinars are their top funnels. So that's great. If you have VSL training videos, free communities, free courses, free tools that people can use, whatever the case, driving people from organic traffic to free stuff. works much better than trying to get people straight to a call, right? And the free stuff funnels them into your sales process. If you have a setting team, ideally collect their phone number when they opt in for the free thing. So you get their name, email, phone, and then you can have setters that are immediately calling them, getting them on the phone, scheduling strategy calls, and then your free resources. You want to make it extremely valuable. You want people to be shocked that you're giving it away for free because it's so valuable. And it should be something that people would normally pay money for. And if you have something that valuable for free, then people automatically assume that your paid stuff is incredible, right? Because they got so much value from the free stuff.
Hmm.
And inside of the free things that you give them, everything should still funnel to getting people on the phone. Offer complimentary strategy sessions, consultations, whatever. You can give it a nice, like sexy name to it that makes it, seem benefit driven. Don't call it a sales call. But the goal is to really get people on the phone if you sell high ticket services. Now, if you sell something low ticket, that's, a couple $100s or less, more product based, it's a different game. Most of our clients on the personal brand side do sell high ticket. When you have a personal brand, it's like I've seen enough proof in the pudding. High ticket is the way to go. You're going to make more money and build a bigger business versus only trying to focus on low ticket, lower price points and lower subscription models on the front end. And to sell high ticket, I would define that as anything over really $5,000. You have to have a sales team. But yeah, so to recap, organic short form content, top of funnel, drive them in. And then also all the reach that you create from social. So you can retarget with ads. Those ads should then take people to still, a VSL call booking funnel, a webinar, your free lead magnets, and just get everyone into your system. And then you continue the process from there. Also, taking people from short form to long form videos is also great for getting them just deeper into your funnel and ecosystem. Really, there's a great rule called the 7-11-4 rule. If someone watches 7 hours of your content across 11 impressions and 4 different platforms, they're probably going to buy anything that you sell if they're a good fit for it. Right.
Hmm.
And so that's the goal. And the fastest way to get people to watching 7 or more hours of your content is to take them from short form to long form. And so you should absolutely do both because it
So
becomes
is
a
that is
flywheel.
that through pitching people on those reels? Like, hey, if you like more of this stuff, go check out my full video on it. Or is it just having a link in bio, like where you have stories that drive traffic to it or emails? Like, what's the best hook that you found that drives traffic from the short form to long form?
Great question. It's a blend of everything. If you are clipping up your long form videos into short form content, then you should always let people know, hey, go check out the full long form video here. And you can just include the channel name. It depends on what drives the most results for the business, but a lot of the time it does make sense if you include a long form video in the link in bio. Posting it and promoting it on your stories drives more traffic back. And then ideally on your socials, when you are having leads come in and you're collecting their emails, you should have an email list going out. You should be emailing them regularly. If you're not emailing your list, that's low hanging fruit. That's going to make you a lot of money real quick.
Yeah.
And in your emails, also push to your long form content. We do that consistently. We send 3 emails a week to our list, and at least 2 of them usually has some mention of the new long form video that came out this week.
Hmm. When you're talking about content and then doing the sub accounts, I can only imagine that just like it's overwhelming to, the business owner because now it's like I'm now having to triple the amount of time I'm spending on creating content. Like, what do you guys do in terms of like hours of content that you need to replicate the amount of media that's distributed on all these platforms?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of the brands that we work with have already been creating content for years. So they have a big library that we can tap into and clip up and repurpose. Um, and when people have been creating content for years, have a larger following and brand on socials already, almost always they're continuing to create content ongoing. And so all of our clients, we don't have to have them do any more work. Like they just keep doing what they're doing
Oh,
and we tap into it, we repurpose, we really clip it up, and then it's very on autopilot for them. We do it through great systems. We have a world class team. Over the last 2 years, we've had hundreds of thousands of applicants for the different roles we hire for come in. We've hired like a small percentage of them, less than 1%. And so we're very, very good at this point of recruiting top talent, bringing people in, training and onboarding them. And we've developed proprietary, just dialed in systems step by step to make this all run smoothly. We have a double layer review process on every video before it goes out to ensure that there's quality. And the businesses or the personal brands we work with, generally, a lot of our clients have many millions of followers. And I have never seen someone get to that size with their brand who's not filming at least somewhere between 2 to 6 hours a week,
Hmm.
right? That's usually, if you're filming that often, you're putting yourself in a good spot to compete and to be a top brand. If you're not doing it, you're going to get beat because the people who are at the top are doing it, right?
Yeah.
But not to say that's what's required to generate results. If you're just getting started and you film 1, 2 hours a week, if you prepare for those filming sessions beforehand, you can still really crush it. Alex Hermosi for a long time would film one time per month and just do an entire filming day that month, get enough content, and he'd grow to a million plus audience across platforms by doing that, right? So there's no excuses. You can make it work. But usually, when people start to see some results and their brand starts to grow and they really see the benefits of the amount of sales and customers that come in and the network they build and the doors it opens, and you enjoy the process, you lean in further because you know it's one of the highest leverage things that you can do as a business owner. And so a lot of people will start by wanting to do the least amount and still get content out, such as filming an hour or two per week. And then when you see the results, you want to lean in further and start filming, 3, 6 hours a week and really put out a lot of content.
How much of the things that you do is leveraging AI? So there's a lot of AI tools, the prompts, the scripts that could be created. Like, what have you seen, good, bad, and the ugly, and what do you kind of use and suggest?
Yeah. It's an awesome question. AI is incredible in many ways and still has a lot of progression to make in other areas as well. With editing, AI is not there yet to be able to like take a job of an editor or do
Mhm.
just as good of a job. When you have an amazing editor and you compare it to a fully AI edit, it's like the amazing editor is like a A5 Wagyu cut steak versus the AI editing is like a flank steak, massive difference. On the script writing side, AI is incredible at this point. And so we use it in a lot of ways for coming up with video titles, hooks at the start of our video that shows headlines, sometimes video scripts or just outlines of them. And you can use AI to really put together a full content strategy for yourself, a brand identity, which is one of the first steps that you should do. You can use AI to really get defined of your ideal client profile or your ideal customer profile, your ICP. And that's super important. You should always start there. If you're getting into creating content, or if you've been doing it for a while but you haven't refreshed this, go to ChatGPT and really get specific of your ICP because that's the person you want to speak to in your content. The platforms have gotten so good. They know when you're speaking to a specific person, it serves your content to that person because it has so much data on all of us, right?
Mhm.
So get specific of who you're speaking to and who you're creating content for. Develop a brand identity. If you don't know what that is, ask ChatGPT, it'll tell you, right? And really get refinement on that. And that becomes the guiding light for your content strategy. Then you can take it further and ask ChatGPT to develop the content strategy for you. What types of videos are working well for this ICP that match my brand identity? What topics should I speak on in the content? And when you have a rotating list of topics, then you can ask it to start writing scripts for you, create video hooks for you that stop people from scrolling and make them feel like they have to watch. And it gives you incredible information. A lot of the time, I'd say it's 90% of the way there. And then you add your own spin and tweak it and perfect it for yourself on top. And this, by the way, we've been using the AI tools, AI agents since they started to become big in 2022. None of this was anywhere near the quality of what it is today. It's like there's been a huge shift in the last 6 months, truly,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? 6 months ago, like we just were not seeing AI do nearly as much as it is today.
Yeah.
There's never been a more exciting time to really lean in.
Yeah. And it's going to just continue to grow and learn and expand and help us build more and more valuable stuff. Where can people follow you more, man? How can they connect with you?
Yeah, I met Logan Forsyth on socials earlier this year. Started creating long form videos on YouTube, putting in a lot of effort. I feel they're very, very good if you want to scale your brand and socials there. Our website is mediascaling.com. And we have a social media newsletter where we talk about what our clients doing hundreds of millions in sales are doing and seeing the most success with on social media. We go over big algorithm updates on social media. So you can opt into that newsletter at scalingedgenews.com for free as well. But we have lots of free resources to just provide a lot of value.
Amazing. I'll put those links down below. Go check out Logan. Go check out his company. That's going to be real helpful for you as you're trying to grow and scale your online business. And also, don't forget before you guys leave the show, there's that free gift of that workshop down below for you to check out as well. That's going to be a helpful tool to help you really come up with a solid strategy as well. Logan, thanks for being on this episode. And all the listeners, check out the new episodes coming out every week. Talk to you soon.